What's going on, YouTube? Sorry about the glare. It's a little bit weird, honestly. But wanted to come back and do my Big 12 predictions, and also, I believe, one Sun Belt game. So, I'm going to go ahead and predict Texas versus Baylor, West Virginia, Kansas State, and then Georgia State and Georgia Southern. So, like I said, a little bit of a weak schedule this week. Outside of the conference championship, obviously it's conference championship week, and only two conferences do not have a conference championship, so the schedule is not ever going to be great. So start with the first one, which is Texas and Baylor, and unless something like the OU game happens for Texas, it's probably going to be an ugly game. I'm going with Baylor, even if they do start Chris Johnson, which I believe they will. It was a fluky week last week for Baylor, a rough way to end the season, but it's been a rough season for a lot of Big 12 teams that aren't named OU. So, move on to West Virginia and Kansas State. So, I don't know. I think this will be the best game of the week outside of the conference championships. There's a lot at stake for both teams. There really is a whole lot, and I don't think it's really been recognized this week. I don't think there's any more at stake because I think Arkansas State's already locked up the Sun Belt, so I really don't think there's any more at stake for any two teams not playing in a conference championship this week. Basically, Kansas State, unless they get into bowl eligibility with a 5-win season, because there's probably going to be about 5 teams that do that, they're fighting for bowl eligibility. They're 5-6. This is their last home game of the year, and might be Bill's. I don't think it's going to be. I think Bill Snyder's going to stick around for another year. There's been talk that he's going to leave after this year, but I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to go with West Virginia. I've said for a while now I think West Virginia is the 5th best team in the conference. I thought they were going to win out, and it looks like they have the very certain opportunity to. But this will definitely be a good game. A game that Kansas State's going to put up a good fight. They kind of railed Kansas last week, but it is Kansas. Like I said, West Virginia is on a, I want to say, 4-game win streak. So see if they can extend that to 5. Let me make sure of that right quick. Yes, 4-game win streak. So they've beaten basically every school in the lower half of the Big 12, and obviously they're going to look to continue to do that. So I'm going to go with West Virginia in that game. And the final game I want to predict is Georgia State and Georgia Southern, which is a little, I believe, a little in-state rivalry inside of the Sun Belt. So Georgia Southern did actually play Georgia pretty close when they did play, I want to say 2 weeks ago, and I get it's a pretty bad Georgia team, but like I said, this is a nice little in-conference rivalry. Georgia Southern is one of the better teams inside of the Sun Belt. Georgia State's, I'd say, the upper half, record-wise, but you look at some of the teams on the lower half of the Sun Belt and is not pretty. So I'm gonna go with Georgia Southern here. They do have like I said earlier this year against Georgia, they do have a very respectable rushing attack, and a team that can actually contend with quite a few Power 5 teams, as you saw against Georgia. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my predictions outside of the conference championships for this week. So I'm going to come back, try to do a few later today, and then a few tomorrow for the Power 5 conference championships. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah.